Right. Good afternoon, everyone. This is the CCE Campus County Connections. We're talking about tools and opportunities for crop insurance education in New York. And I'm here with Jennifer Ifft and Joshua Woodard of the Dyson School. And they're going to talk a little bit more about the USDA RMA-supported New York Crop Insurance and Risk Management Education Project and things you've been doing over the last year. So I'll definitely encourage both of you to give a better introduction of yourselves, but this is part of the Campus County Connections webinars, a great way for our educators and staff in the field to connect with others here on campus. So Jenny, we are recording this just so everyone knows, and people who are on, we encourage you to chat. You are muted because of the webinar setup in Zoom, but feel free to hit the chat button either at the bottom or top of your screen. You can scroll there. Looks like people are on and we're getting sound. That's fantastic. You can chat to the panelists privately, or you may also chat to everyone. If you have a question, it's kind of good to get that question out there to everyone. Jenny will see it also and we'll be able to respond to that. So we've got this recorded, and I'm going to turn it over to you. Thanks for being here, Jenny, and to Joshua.
All right. Hi, everybody. It's thanks for tuning in. I did see some familiar names on the list, so that's great. Again, please keep the questions coming. While I'm talking is fine. That way I don't feel like I'm talking to myself. Is it switched over to me?
It should be switched over to you. So your video is showing.
Okay. Well, I can't see it, but I don't need to. Okay. All right. So I'm going to get started. So I will start out with a short introduction to what crop insurance is. Some of you are probably very familiar with what crop insurance is, so you could tune me out for the next 10 minutes. I do want to get everybody sort of up to the same basic level. If you've never heard of crop insurance, it'll probably be too quick, so just stop me then. So first of all, why do we need crop insurance? Why do we have crop insurance? I think you probably are all familiar with how much can go wrong when you're farming. I know in New York we had a lot of wet weather this spring. People were delayed getting into the field. That's something that crop insurance can help with, amongst other things. When we do work in crop insurance and talk to people, something we hear about a lot is the April 2012 nor'easter that pretty much wiped out a lot of our fruit crop in New York. So this is another sort of example of an unexpected event that can happen. More recently, we had the 2016 drought that in some places was very severe. Yields were maybe half or more lower than normal. So a lot of different things can go wrong. Farming is very volatile. And so crop insurance is a type of safety net. In some ways, you could compare it to car insurance. Not in every way, but in some ways. So you pay a premium to buy a policy. If something bad happens, you're going to file a claim, and then you would get an indemnity to help you through that situation. One way it's not like car insurance that I like to say is that we hope that people don't get into car accidents as often as farmers have problems with their yield or other weather-related problems. It's also important to say that crop insurance is not liability insurance, and it's also not property insurance. These are important. And in New York, we actually spend a lot more than other states on this type of insurance, but this is something separate from crop insurance. Crop insurance will cause losses that are due to, we'd like to say, natural causes or acts of God. So different weather events, it could be pests. There are some policies that will cover revenue, so that those policies could be triggered also if market prices go down. We're going to be using the term indemnity a lot. These are crop insurance payouts. If you do have something go wrong with the weather or with prices, then you get an indemnity. It's going to help you cover your losses, might help you repay loans, basically help you stay in business. And there is cost sharing with the federal government. So with the federal crop insurance program, up to 80% of the total premium cost is covered by the federal government. In some cases, this helps keep crop insurance affordable. There we go. So just a brief sort of overview of how crop insurance has been growing in New York over the past 2 decades. And that first tab should actually be in 2016. So that's not 2017, that's 2016. So over the past 20 years, we've had about 6,000 policies sold a year, but the number of acres covered has more than doubled. Today, we have more than 1 million acres enrolled in crop insurance. Similarly, the value of crops insured has gone up more than 7 times. So from $73 million to $529 million in 2016. So this is what we call liabilities a lot. The way that you can think about this is if all the crops that were covered under crop insurance were completely wiped out, this would be the equivalent to the payouts. Along with these increases in the acreage and the value of coverage, we've also seen an increase in the amount of money that farmers have paid themselves to participate in crop insurance. Now, in terms of what crop insurance payouts or indemnities have been for, in New York State, really it's everything, especially in 2016. We had over $25 million in indemnities for the 2016 drought, but we also had over 20 million for causes related to cold temperatures. So historically, we haven't had high drought payouts in New York. This changed this year. Historically, having too much moisture or precipitation or cold temperature, spring freezes and the like have been the major causes of indemnities being paid out under crop insurance. Another point that's important to make again is that in most years, the payouts are going to exceed the farmer paid premium. So before I made the point that the federal government covers up to 80% of the cost. It's actually about, this year they paid about, the federal government share of the premium was about 2/3. And just because of this design, in most years, the payouts are going to be larger than what farmers pay into the system. So you'll see in this chart, this is something called the loss ratio. And this is equal to 1 if the total premiums are equal to the indemnities. It's going to be higher if more is paid out than in indemnities is paid in premiums. And so the black line is 1, and so that is for the entire crop insurance program. It's designed to be 1 over time. So over time, the total premiums, including the farmer premium and the subsidy, are designed to be equal to the total losses in the program. In terms of what farmers pay in, if the loss ratio is above that yellow dash line, that means that the payouts were higher than what farmers paid in. So again, that's something to keep in mind, that if you participate in the way crop insurance is designed, on average, if you participate every year, you should end out ahead. Not always going to be the case, but it certainly is for a lot of farms. So now I'm going to switch over to the background of the project we're working on. The reason that this project exists is because New York has crop insurance participation that's lower than other states in relative terms. Crop insurance is a program that is supposed to be available to the majority. How to say this? It's supposed to be able to benefit all farms, at least those that are eligible. So because of this, the RMA has funding through what it calls its targeted states program for states that are underserved by crop insurance or have low participation. We were awarded this project last year and started in October of 2016. The project was previously managed by Ag and Markets. They're still an important partner for us in the project. We also work with several people in Cornell Cooperative Extension, as well as other partners, including the National Young Farmers Coalition. In sort of broad terms, our goal for this project is that New York farmers are able to make fully informed decisions about crop insurance participation and coverage. As a big part of this, we've been developing crop insurance decision support tools that are web-based, and they're fully customizable at the farm level. Josh is going to talk about this in more detail, so I won't go into it. We also have a lot of activities to increase awareness and understanding of the diverse crop insurance products that are available. And so in general, I'll talk through the approach that we're taking and give some specific examples. Again, something sort of very innovative and unique that we're doing is developing our own web-based and user-friendly decision tools. This includes a premium quoter for single crop products as well as whole farm. We also have a what if tool that can show you your crop insurance payouts or net benefits under a variety of yield and price outcomes that you provide. Again, Josh will go into that in more detail. Any other question?
Working on getting Josh
Okay.
connected to sound.
Okay, got it. Okay. All right. We also do a lot of face-to-face educational activities. These are mostly through our cooperative extension partners. And we take a couple different approaches to these. The first is sort of crop insurance and risk management basics. And these are more for groups that have not traditionally had high levels of participation in crop insurance. So I'll give you an example for that. So we have a specific presentation that we developed for beginning and diversified farmers, where we sort of talk about some of the fundamentals of crop insurance before giving an example using whole farm revenue protection, which is a relatively new crop insurance product. We also have the ability to talk about the past experiences with crop insurance down to specific commodities or even specific counties. So one example of that is onions. So we developed, one of our partners presented to onion growers over the past year. Most onions are enrolled in crop insurance in New York State, but the majority, about half, are at a very low level or only at the catastrophic level. So what we did is we went county by county and compared the historic levels of participation as well as payouts. So this is a level of detail that we can go into for specific crops if there's interest. And we have gotten good feedback on this type of information. Another sort of approach that we've been taking is to look at risk management alternatives and scenarios. So what do I mean by this? Well, one thing I've been hearing a lot about over the past year is how producers self-insure. And one of the things we do is we can talk about, okay, what are the costs and benefits of different approaches of self-insurance relative to crop insurance to help people make these decisions. So I did a webinar and a presentation for corn silage last year, where we talked about the costs and benefits of different self-insurance strategy for dairy farms. So what self-insurance are people doing for droughts? And we talked about costs of purchasing additional forage, culling cows, producing additional crops, and also keeping inventories. And then we also went through some crop insurance examples. Just pulling up my presentation again.
Did we do something?
Nope, I'm just going through different examples. So again, please stop me if you have any specific questions. We also have developed different types of promotional materials. Some of you may have seen our ads in different types of print media. And we've also developed some fact sheets. Generally, for our presentations as well as this, we've been trying to focus on the big picture. What is crop insurance? How does it work? What are some of the potential benefits? We try to only include the critical policy details, and sometimes there are critical details that you need to talk about. We're also doing testimonials and videos. In terms of the products, some of these are for commonly grown crops, and also in some cases we try to target groups who aren't as familiar. So I will give you a few examples of what we've done. That way, we did a recent fact sheet that we sent out. Some of you might have already seen it. So what happens when planting goes wrong? A lot of crop insurance have coverage for if you are delayed in planting or you have to replant. There's potentially you can get some payouts. So we have a 2-page fact sheet that goes through what we think are the critical details for that. we did another fact sheet for corn silage, just because this is so important in New York State. That's one that's available on our website. We also did a fact sheet for beekeepers, and what we did here was we were comparing different crop insurance products, also some FSA programs. So what are the key characteristics of each of these? I put them in a matrix, and then we talked about a rainfall index-based product that beekeepers can use. Again, this has been our general focus with the different materials we've developed. A couple of things I'd like to say that are important to us beyond sort of the deliverables that we have for this project. We do have the opportunity to provide feedback to the risk management agency and others in USDA about issues with the crop insurance program. One thing I've liked about the presentations I've given and the people I've been working with is that no one's really shy about complaining, to give complaints and problems that they've had with crop insurance. And this is actually really helpful. Feedback we can get can be used to improve the program. There's definitely a receptiveness to this on the part of the USDA. So that's something that's important to us. Also, both Josh and I conduct research on crop insurance, and we really see this as fitting within the public service mission of Cornell as a land-grant institution, where both our research and our extension informs each other. So again, this is just something that's important to us, is that our work in crop insurance doesn't start or end with this specific project. So we are in the process of applying for another round of the targeted state grants. The current grant does go through the end of September, but again, the next cycle has already started in terms of applying. There's several new things we'd like to do. We're always trying to expand our offerings and exploring alternative methods of getting information out to producers and the extension specialists and others we work with. So, we'll keep doing webinars as needed with podcasts, social media. Anyway, Josh will go into some of the additional things we're doing on the website as well. But we know that people get their information through a variety of methods. We're trying to make it so people don't have to talk to a person if they don't want to. Of course, those face-to-face contacts are very important. So,
Jenny, I'm going to pause you just a moment. We're going to see if we have a connection with Joshua.
Okay, great.
We're not hearing you, Joshua. Okay, sorry.
Kick him out of the meeting and have him come back in again.
Okay.
Go ahead, Jenny.
Okay, I am pretty much wrapping up here, and then we can check on that again. So I did want to point out that we do have some capacity for additional partnerships. There are a handful of people that are potentially interested that I've talked through throughout the year. So please definitely reach out to this, especially if you work with groups that have low crop insurance participation. We do want to have a true partnership with people. We want people to give us regular feedback into our web tools when you're able to use them. We also want to be able to reach out to farmers. So our partners play an important role in helping us with that link. For those of you that have day-to-day relationships or stakeholders that you work with. And the last slide here, I just have our website, so you can check that out for yourself, and also the crop insurance agent link. So I'm gonna try to turn over to Josh now if his sound is working.
Yeah.
We've got him connected through the computer.
Okay.
He can hear us, but he's called in on a different line. So
Okay.
we're going to try another number here, Jenny. Sorry about
Should
that.
I stop sharing?
No, I think you're okay.
Okay.
I'd be curious what happens if you stop sharing.
Okay, sure. Are you at a good pause right now?
Yep.
And we're not getting questions, but people still can chat if they have questions for Jenny or for Joshua. So feel free to put that right in the chat to everyone. Jenny can keep an eye on that. So we'll pause a bit and let them get their questions together. And you want to kick him out?
He's going to try calling it on the other number. Let's see what happens.
Okay, looks like he may have hung up. So
I've never done the phone computer hybrid thing. well.
I think that does, let me pull up
I think that-
analytics.
Trick.
So I do think that does generally work.
Yeah.
I know people, I think I've had a call on a phone once or twice.
sure.
Yeah, I mean, we've
Yeah.
had usually pretty good luck with.
Yeah.
being
Everything
flexible,
we've
so.
Sure.
Or maybe Josh has slides that you could talk through.
I don't have Josh's slides, but I have talked through the website many times, and I'm happy to, I'm happy to do that again. I'm actually just pulling that up on my website.
He's trying the other number, so we'll see if he connects in. And looks like you're connected, Josh. Let me see if I can see. I'm not able to turn him into anything.
Like panelist. All right, try it. Mute that.
Okay. That makes a difference.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Looks like Joshua.
Did nothing.
Okay. Sorry, Joshua. So I guess.
Participant, no lines are muted, so he's not coming in. So,
And it's a webinar, so we can't unmute everyone.
right. So kick him out of here.
Okay, Joshua, we're taking you off the computer just to see what happens, and we'll ask you to log back in just to see if it makes a difference with the phone.
Okay.
So I assume, Joshua, you can still hear us. If this doesn't work, you want to take it from there and
Yeah, I can,
walk through the pages.
what I can do is I could start talking through some of our existing tools and going through those examples. And then if Josh can get back on at some point, he can talk about the broader vision, which I would like to have him talk about.
And I'll try to call in.
Okay.
I'm curious if the system is really not functioning or if it's on his end.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
It looks like Josh is back.
I don't have my working personal phone.
Is Josh back?
I think Josh is still on the phone, not on the computer.
Okay. Okay.
If he's the one person. Is there anyone else on the, can't tell us because they're muted.
Okay.
Just one phone call.
How much people on the computer? Right.
Hello?
Oh, that's a good
Hello?
sign.
Can you hear me?
Woodard.
Okay, I see.
And
Okay.
mute, unmute. Okay, we still, boy, it looked like you were talking, Joshua. Let me make you a
Can you hear me?
co-host. I want to make Joshua the
Hello?
co-host.
That's not
I
working.
can see the sound on the phone. Sorry about this, everyone.
Somebody heard you.
Joshua, it looks like you're a co-host. Can you unmute yourself?
It said that
I'm not muted.
they can
Yep.
hear him, but we can't.
Oh, well. How do you feel about that?
Okay, everyone else can hear me, so that's good.
Should we let him talk?
Sure, why not?
I'm going to share my screen.
Okay, I don't know why we don't hear you. And we have.
Okay, but so can
what he can do.
you see my screen?
Looks like Josh is sharing a screen.
How do I send the message if people can see my screen? If there's any. Okay, so people can see it. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue. So I'll try to keep this under 10 minutes or so because I want to have time to answer questions. But so we've been working on these tools for the last since the grant started, and one of the things that we wanted to basically be able to accomplish was, well, have a centralized place where we could all refer to get information on what we were working on. And then more importantly, probably was for the premium quoter tools and the what if tools. So this is something that we work on a lot in terms of our research. And so we thought one of the best ways to deliver some of this would be through these web tools. So I'll talk really briefly about some of the things that we've done. So first, we've set up a blog just for announcements, and this is where, if you can see this, this is where we're posting our announcements, and also we tweet all this stuff out over our Twitter account. Then we also have 2 different calculators at the moment. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. One for the, I want to move this because I can't click anything. One for regular insurance calculator, and then what this does is basically allows people to very quickly get a quote, so you can enter in your crop and your location, and it'll pull up automatically all the different options that are available for you. We pre-populate a lot of these parameters like approved yields and so forth, but users can also change those. We also have a yield worksheet, so if they know their yields, they can punch their yields in, and it will automatically sort of calculate it for them for their own operation. If they don't, we have default ones, but basically it does all the math for them, and there's advanced options if people want to go into those. I won't get into that today. We would like to do some training at some point with the extension agents on this, but just to show you really quickly, basically, we wanted to make this as simple as possible so that you could see, in a snapshot sort of descriptions of what these items are, how does the insurance work, and we tried to put in lots of helpful tool tips so people could easily understand these policies. And then also, we have a what if tool that basically allows them to enter in, once they know, or if they want to run different scenarios. So if their yield came in at different levels, or if prices came in at different levels, we would recalculate what they would get paid had they bought different coverage levels. And so we're still working on some of the design aspects of this so that it's a little bit easier to navigate. But I think it's pretty simple so far. With minimal to no training, people can, I think, come to this site and be able to easily use the tools. So that's one, and we did have some training earlier this year where we brought in producers and did a little bit of testing, but we would like to do a lot more of this in the coming year. We also have a whole farm premium calculator, which there's this whole farm insurance that came out with the last farm bill, and RMA has asked us to emphasize that. It's not going to be right for all producers, but it's a little more complicated in my mind. But again, we have a calculator that has some worksheets. We tried to, again, make it very simple with simple explanations so that people could easily come and enter in their data and easily get a quote. And again, we pre-populate it with data up front so that when they come, they can, sort of play around with it and they don't get stuck, so that there's never a case where they're clicking something it's not working. But so we'll be doing further design and customization on these as well. But the more important thing over the next year that we really want to emphasize is we've also set up basically the ability for people to basically get their own customized quotes for their fields. So here's just one example of this tool. This is sort of a general tool as well, so you can sort of click on the map and find your location. You can search by address if you want, and basically click on any field, and we sort of pull in automatically different types of data that are publicly available. So this is, for example, satellite data, so you can see if the greenness index is where it's at as of today, and is that normal compared to historical. We also have precipitation data, so this is year to date, for example. So in this location, precipitation's just below normal for that year. Also growing degree days, and you can change the range of years that you search over. By default, we have it go to the current year. So basically, we pull in all these data to make it easy for people to navigate. Also, we have estimated layers of, for every field in the U.S., what was planted on them. So we also can pre-populate that information. And then these two our soil databases. So if you're wondering what kind of soil they're on and what the quality indicator is, we pull in all of those data. So the next step that we're taking is pulling together the premium quoting software with the mapping application so that if people create an account, they will automatically be able to pull in all of their, it'll automatically pull in all the data from their fields and allow them to create an account and associate data with it. So for example, here's a test account that we set up, and you don't need to do anything to create an account except for enter an email address. So you can enter information about land values and anything with the boundaries, and also define different plantings on those fields in different years. So that's the idea, is that people will be able to enter in their yield information data and be able to track it online. And then also we'll have an automated quoter that identifies if they're on high-risk soil or low-risk soil, and then basically gives them different types of real-time summaries. So basically you can easily log in and locate fields and add data to them. And so this is active work in progress. Another thing that we're doing along this line is, instead of having producers enter in data manually, is we're going to be tapping into different precision ag services so that it'll automatically pull in the precision ag data and allow them to get custom insurance premium scenarios that are customized for their land, and also additional tools that we're building. So our ask of the extension agents is the following: is one, participate in our trainings if you choose to be part of this project with us, so you can help train producers on these tools, and then more importantly, help us find producers to sign up and really leverage these tools and to create accounts. And what we're doing is trying to make it as easy as possible for people to sign up and create an account. But this is really critical that we have extension support in helping producers get on the platform, because ultimately, I mean, I think it's going to be free for producers. It'll really help our extension efforts in all sorts of different ways, but it relies on the agents being willing to go out and convince people to put in a couple minutes of effort to help them sign up for these accounts. So I'll leave it there. I don't know if Jenny and them can hear me, and I haven't been reading my questions, but I'll sort of open it up for that.
Oh, actually, we're not needed. Joshua, can you hear us? This is Kim.
Yep. Okay. Okay. Am I echoing? Okay, great. So I didn't hear we didn't hear everything Josh said until we called in, but this part is really just sort of for open discussion. So if you have specific questions about anything, if you want us to talk about anything in more detail.
So Bonnie had a question. Jenny, can you hear me?
I hear you. Yep.
Okay. Sure. I'll let you comment on Bonnie's question. She asked us to go over which producers we're looking for to sign up. I mean, I think at this point, we should be able to basically hit any producers for which there's a crop insurance program. Our tools basically do everything from corn to apples to asparagus. So basically, we would like to get a diversified panel of producers. Some grape producers, some apple producers, some corn growers, and so yeah, I think that would be the people we would like to sign up. And again, this is work in progress, and so your feedback, both from producers and from you all as the agents, helps us as we basically are developing these tools so we can customize them and identify issues that to address things that you want us to be able to address. So. And you can do that in whatever form, writing myself, writing Jenny, or both of us. I'm always happy to talk on the phone and but we're really at the phase now where we have a nice prototype, and so, you know, a lot of engagement and testing by the agents would really be valuable at this point, so that we can make any course corrections.
Exactly. Also, one thing for those who are on the project or interested, that's something we can also think about trying to more formally include for the rest of this year and next year.
Oh, one last thing on Bonnie, on the producers that we're hoping to sign up. Anyone that you know who uses Deer would be really helpful, because we can hook into Deer data pretty easily right now, and we have some ongoing efforts with that. So if you have any of those producers that are currently using the John Deere Operations Center, those are also people we would like to speak with. So.
Any other questions? For watching the chat box.
Okay. So if there's specific questions about what Josh and I talked about, that's fine. You can also just contact either of us directly if you're interested in getting involved over the next year. Yeah, just talk to me, but try to do it in the next week or so, I would say. Another thing that if generally, what are people's, a general question we always try to ask is, what are people's crop insurance programming needs? So if it looks like, especially if it looks like there's something that we haven't talked about, or if it's something we've talked about and you'd like to talk about it more, we're always asking that question, and we really like to get feedback.
So then we'll have people put that in the chat box.
I think it just got closed.
The chat box.
I don't know, I can't see it anymore. My computer. Yeah.
I have it up here.
Yep, I just got
Got it back?
a webinar evaluation.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
what have we done?
No, it says craft brewery industry. Let me see. Oh.
So, is there any other questions, or Jenny, is there anything else that you wanted to answer in the meantime?
No, I guess those are sort of, if people feel comfortable sharing their own crop insurance experiences or programming needs, that'd be great. Again, any other questions about anything presented, if it's all perfectly clear. All right, let's see, is there...
Okay, so yeah, so that's all. I think that's good for today. I mean, without getting into the details, I think we should have maybe a follow-up in more detail for those people who are interested, perhaps, in learning about some of the tools. Obviously the big deadlines are in the spring, but we're really going to be ramping up to that. But we would love to engage people on these tools that we're building, more. And I think even beyond crop insurance, we're providing a lot of useful information that would be kind of difficult, I think, for a lot of people to pull in if they're not paying, money for custom services, information services elsewhere. We're providing all this sort of for free. And so, yeah, anything that comes to mind in terms of questions or even suggestions of things that would be good, we would like to hear it. And yeah, as Jenny mentioned, we also would like to build up a bigger news list. We haven't done any newsletters yet because we don't have really a big enough list to do it. But if you'd be willing to share your contacts, we were hoping to maybe just do it. We don't want to bombard people, maybe once a month to give people an update on sort of our new tools, how they work, and then a link to the relevant place on the site so that if people wanted to use them, that would be great for that purpose. So Sandy says the data info is an interesting way to pitch. Yeah, I agree. I think it gives people a reason to come to the site and sign up, and we can give them all this value added. And then the more people that are using it, you know, the more use cases we can generate. So, yeah.
So this is Celeste Carmichael. I'm sorry I joined late, but a couple of questions while everybody is kind of here in this virtual room. One for Jenny and Josh, is there a program work team, or is there any group that, you know, campus and county group that sort of meets or connects together if somebody wanted to stay connected, more closely connected with this kind of information?
Right. There's not a crop insurance program work team. I'm not even sure there's a farm management program work team. I think when we have announcements, it seems like there's several different mailing lists that we're trying to get things out to. There's also the regional teams. So we do have some people who are on regional teams on the project. So that's one way we can get information out. But it does seem like there's like several different nodes where to get information out that we're using as opposed to a central program work team. So yeah, in that sense, I guess it'd be great if people could start getting signed up for them.
So we can look after the webinar. Maybe we can look at the that there are and the program work teams there are, and maybe there's a best place to utilize that kind of listserv, or maybe there's an opportunity for a program work team, even if it's just for information sharing. That certainly would be useful. And I had another question, but I can't remember what it was. But this is great. We did. I think that this is being recorded. Looked like there were some technical snafus in the making of a Zoom here. Sometimes those things happen, and if that's the case, we'll figure out a way to make sure the information, the resources were available prior to anyway. Yeah, and any slides that you have could be made available.
And all of the presentations and fact sheets I shared, they're all on aganalytics.org, or they're also on if you go to the webinar site, we've shared those as well.
Yeah. Did you share the Ag Analytics website?
It's in the presentation. I think I put the link in the chat. So
Okay.
Should have it.
Okay, great. Well, thanks everyone. I don't have anything else. If there's any other questions, though, we'd be happy to field them, or you can get in touch with us offline as well. Jenny, do you have anything else at this point?
Nope. Just again, please contact me as soon as possible if you're interested in getting more involved in the next year.
So as we prepare to sign off here, I just want to kind of remind folks that there is a campus connections website on the staff site. You click on units, organizational development and accountability. The top button there in the top right quadrant, tools for the trade, is campus program connections. And that's where all of our resources remain listed for the webinars. So after the webinar, it will, give me a couple of days, but they'll end up in the recorded webinar section on the left-hand side. And what will be there is the recorded webinar and any resources and the link to the website. And if however you remember to get to the resources is really important, not that you come directly back to this page. But the Campus County Connections webpage also has links to program work teams and funded extension projects and some other things that may be interesting to you if you've tuned into this.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for being here today.
All right. Thanks for joining us.
All right, thanks everyone. Appreciate it. Take care.
Bye-bye. All right,
So did it ask you about saving or recording? It's recording. Okay. Well, that's good. So what we don't know